Good morning, students. Here I come once again. So, yesterday we were discussing about the water body, and so let me request you to take your book in hand and pencil. And as we go on discussing, please note down or underline the points that I explained to you. So, today, our discussion is about the importance of the oceans and rivers, the lakes, and so on. So, that means the importance of, we'll concentrate on the importance of oceans. See, ocean is the largest water bodies that we have, and it is not simply there. It has an important impact on our life. And so, what are these benefits or the impacts that it causes to our life? Ocean acts as natural links between the continent. Yes, it is a so because waterways is the most cheapest ways today. They provide the main means of transport, trade, for business, and all that, and join one country to the other countries. They are a great source of petroleum products, natural gases, salt, minerals, and chemicals. Now, you might think that from where? From ocean, how can we get the petroleum? How can we get natural gases and salt and minerals and other chemicals? Yes, it is many of the chemicals products are from the ocean beds and the ocean product. Say for example, the animals, the aquatic plants, and the shells and the ships and all that, all are useful today. And the fat and the what called the oil that we extract from the aquatic animals, because aquatic animals have got the plenty of fat in their body. Yes. Next was, so we this petroleum product, for example, today we have the petroleum product extracted from the sea. Can you name that, where it is? It is just the offshore drilling done in Mumbai, called Bombay High. Remember that. I'll be asking you somewhere sometimes. Next one is the ocean water is the main source of moisture, moisture or water vapor in the atmosphere that causes rainfall. So it's the ocean water only evaporates and forms clouds and comes in the form of precipitations, various forms of precipitations. The presence of ocean moderates the temperature of the earth, especially the coastal regions. They are a source of seafood like fish, marine creatures, seaweeds, and fertilizers. And so we have plenty of seafood from the ocean beds or from the ocean. They are the storehouse of a tidal energy. If we are able to harness the tidal wave and try to take the energy from the tidal wave, then we can have a good source of electricity, that is energy. Okay, so these are the benefits that the sea or the ocean gives us. Next one is the other water bodies. What are the other water bodies? Other water bodies are sea, lake, pond, river. Okay, see, one by one we will see. The others, I had told you about the water. That means 97% of water is the sea water or ocean water, or so all these are not drinkable, but they are covering, the whole earth is covering by the water bodies, and all are interlinked. We have seen in the map in front of your eyes, you see in the page number 36, all the continents are on the water, in fact, and they are connected only through water bodies. So let us see, let us come to the other parts of the water bodies, other sources of water bodies. Number one is the sea. After ocean, sea. The sea is the body of saline water, that is the part of ocean, is a part of ocean which is not as deep as the ocean, and it is therefore saline because it evaporates and leaves out the salt in it, and so it is saline. Saline means salty. Saline means salty. It is smaller and shallower. Yes, I just. Sea usually located close to the edge of the landmass or the continent, attached to attached to a continent. Some examples of such marginal sea are Caribbean Sea, Red Sea, Arabian Sea, South China Sea, Baltic Sea, and so on. So all these seas, just you see on the map on page number 36 itself, as you read, you can find out in the map where are they located. You can see simultaneously when I say Red Sea, where is the Red Sea? You can find the Red Sea just in between the Black Sea, in between the Persian Gulf and the Africa. So in between that narrow stretch of blue lining, like looks like is a Red Sea. Today the whole the ships, they go through this. There is a canal. What is that canal? I had told you, remember? What canal is that? Cuts across and joins the Mediterranean Sea. Is it Panama? No. Okay, remember, I'll not tell. So that is the sea, Red Sea. Arabian Sea, where is the Arabian Sea? Then South China Sea, where is the South China Sea? Surely when you see China is a very highlighted nation today, China. Then South China Sea, where it is? Baltic Sea, where is the Baltic Sea here? Baltic Sea. Find out, here it is. Okay, so inland sea are located in the interiors of the continent. They are inland sea or landlocked sea, they are called. And so these are the examples are Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Aral Sea. All these are landlocked sea or the interior. They are inland sea or landlocked sea. Next one is the lake. Lakes are smaller water bodies, smaller than the sea, which are surrounded by land all other side. Like the sea, the landlocked sea or the inland sea, lakes are there, but they are much smaller than the sea. They are given here examples that Lake Baikal, Lake Balkhash, Lake Superior. Remember which river comes out from Superior. I will be asking next. Okay, Lake Valar. All those things are these lakes are the examples. They are largest. The largest lake enclosed island water body is the Caspian Sea. The largest lake by volume of water as well as the depth is the Lake Baikal. Find out here in this. Lakes are an important source of drinking water and used for irrigation. They are also important for leisure activity. What is this leisure activity? Recreational activities are called leisure. Leisure means free time. Spare time. When you have spare time, go and move around by boating, by or shipping or skating, whatever you can do, or sailing. All these things you can do. That is called leisure activities. Fishing. Okay. Some important lakes are the Lake Baikal. Baikal located in southeast Siberia. Southeast Siberia. See that Siberia. Where is the Siberia? Southeast Siberia. Okay. Next, the oldest and deepest lake in the world, Lake Baikal. It contains 20% of the world's total unfrozen fresh waters. Next one is the 5 lakes of USA. 5 lakes: Lake Superior, Huron, Michigan, Ontario, and Erie. Or Erie. Erie. These are the 5 lakes. They are important. We'll come across later on. We'll discuss about them. Are the group of 5 huge freshwater lake located in United States and Canada. Okay. Next, I'm going with what are the things that the usefulness are here. Just you go through. I'm not going to this. Next one is the Lake Omega. Is the second largest lake in Europe. In Europe, not in the world. In Europe, situated in the northwestern part of European portion of Russia and Russia. The European portion of Russia. Russia, you remember, it is in Asia, but some part is in Europe, and so that's why it's called European portion of Russia. Next, Lake Titicaca is a large, deep lake that is in Andes Mountain, bordering Bolivia and Peru. Okay, in South America. Next, Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa, and is the main reservoir. What is this reservoir? Reservoir is a store, water store of Nile River, because Lake Victoria, the river Nile originates. It lies mainly in Tanzania and Uganda, and bordering Kenya and all that. Next one is a Chilka Lake. Where it is? Chilka Lake is quite familiar. Some of you might have seen also. Yes, it is in Odisha, eastern part of India. In winter, it becomes the largest ground for migratory bird. See, birds from Siberia, they come and they come here during winter, and people enjoy. They come over here to breed. Because there it is too cold, they cannot, and then they come here for little warmer they find, and then here they breed, and then when the chicks grow they go back again. So they are migratory bird. Okay, so these are that. Next one is the rivers. What is river? River is a stream of water that flows in a channel down the slope of land, pulled by the force of gravity, and finally flows into the lake or sea. Okay, so this is what is river. You can write there. So it has got the 3 part. River has got the 3 part. I'm going to listen 3 parts. What are the sources and different rivers sources, and where they meet, which sea fall, and all that is here. This part of the lesson you please read on page number 38. The discussion, the rivers of the world, and discussed below. This one, all these pointed ones. So I'm going to discuss the rivers. The river has got the 3 parts: the origin or the source, and the course on it has got the middle part, and the last part is the lower part, lower course. So upper course, middle course, and lower course. In upper course, usually rivers comes from any mountain or any source, or the source of what, from any fountain and all. So from there they begin. That is called source of the river. And then it erodes, and generally it is faster. Generally it is faster. It flows very fast, and then when it moves, it takes along with it so many things. It carries many things: soil, the pebbles, the sand, and all that. It carries fast because it moves faster. and then it reaches, when it reaches the speed is slower down, and so all this the things that it carries from the mountain slope, and it gets deposited, either they are thrown aside or on the depth of it, on the bottom, they are subsided, decanted, and so they subside. And then we have got example of Gangetic Plain, Brahmaputra Valley, the Indus Indus Valley. All these are the fertile land. Why we have? Because of these. They come across the middle course of the river, the various rivers, River Ganga and River Indus or River Brahmaputra. They deposit the minerals. They deposit the silt and or the fertile soil on the course river. Course of the river. So they are very, very good. The last part of the river is the lower course. When it before it joins, river changes, and then it divides into various parts of rivers, small rivers. The place where the river joins the sea or the lake are called the mouth of the river. That is the mouth of the river. The principal functions of the river is deposition of this course. The second part of it. Major landforms of this course are also delta, the flood, the deltas. That is Sundarban Delta. We have got the example, and then the land covered and then watered. The whole area is watered by the river. So we have got plenty of water, and so we have enough things for the livelihood of the people. What are its benefits? We'll discuss later. Okay. So please go through these points which I have not skipped, and so it is for you for your homework. Okay. Stay safe.